Hey YouTube, Film Geek here, and today I'm talking about the 1987 film, The Gate. The Gate is directed by Tibor Takakis, starring Stephen Dorff, Christina Denton, and Louis Tripp. The Gate is a story of three suburban kids that end up opening a gateway to hell in their backyard. The Gate was released May 15th in 1987 with a budget of $6 million and ended up grossing $13.5 million over its run in theaters. So it wasn't necessarily a financial flop. It did make a little bit of money, and critics didn't hate it. It's currently sitting right now on Rotten Tomato with a 55%, so just above average in the critics' eyes. So what are things I love about this movie? Alright, well this is one of the horror movies from my childhood. So I was right around the age of Stephen Dorff and Louis Tripp in this movie. So this film really captured my attention. I felt like I went on this journey with these guys. It was the coolest horror story ever. I loved it. There were aspects of death metal in this movie, that's right. They actually use phrases from death metal. There's this really fun thing. It's like the kids, they don't have any idea what to do with like religion. They're not like from a religious family or anything, so they're like fighting demons and they just like take the Bible and they're like, I don't know what to do with this thing, and they just throw it into the gate. It's just stuff like that that really set this movie apart from films like this at the time. In the 80s, there was a lot of these kid-oriented horror movies. Some good, some bad, but this one really stands out because it's got a good story, a great cast, and it's a lot of fun. This is a movie that you can watch with a middle school age kid, 12, 13, somewhere around there. This is not a gory horror movie, but it is a gross horror movie. There are definitely some scenes that it's not blood and guts, but it's goo. Like lots and lots of goo. So yeah, this movie is great for young fans. So if you have a kid that's kind of interested in horror movies and you're not really a big fan of some of the blood and guts, this is a good one that you might want to let them check out. Another great thing about this movie is it has excellent pacing. This is not a long movie. It clocks in right around 85 minutes long, so an hour, 25 minutes. And in that time, you get a very complete, coherent story with even enough characterization for the three kids to where they're not just two-dimensional characters. And that's something that's really nice in this movie, and that's something that was always lacking in these kid-oriented horror movies. Okay, as I also mentioned, this movie is not gory, but it is gross. There's a lot of goo, there's a lot of slime, so, you don't have to worry about brains and blood, but there is like snot, stuff like that. So, I don't say it's gory, it's just a gross film. Other things I like about this film is the special effects. They are fantastic. They really hold up even today. With no use of CGI, just a lot of camera trickery, forced perspective, and things of that sort, they really make this movie look great even today in 2020. Now, what they did that really set them apart was, yes, there is some stop motion claymation, but there's these little demons, right? And the little demons in this movie are not stop animation. They actually used forced perspective. They had full-grown adults dressed up in these little demon outfits, and then they just had a set that was made much larger. They filmed the people in the costumes, put the kids in, and boom, there you go, little bitty demon guys running around, and it looks freaking great. There's some other makeup that looks amazing in this movie. So yeah, the special effects, the makeup, all of it really holds up even by today's standards. One last thing I want to add too is, unlike a lot of child-led films, this movie has some great acting. So yes, there's a lot of talent in this movie, and Stephen Dorff does a great job. The whole cast, they all really do a fantastic job, convincing in their roles. There's not really any bad acting whatsoever. There's some questionable sub-characters, but other than that, the three main characters do a great job. So if you would like to watch The Gate with your family on this Halloween, then you can check it out right now. It's for rent on Google Movies, YouTube, and Vudu. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of yet another Film Geek episode. Thank you very much for checking all this out. If you liked what you saw here, go ahead and hit a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again, folks, and like I always say, keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.